Welcome, dear listeners, to History with Herodotus, where we embark on a journey through the annals of time, uncovering the secrets of our collective past. Today, we find ourselves on the shores of the Mediterranean as we delve into the fascinating tale of the First Punic War. This epic conflict, which lasted from 264 to 241 BCE, was a clash of titans, pitting the mighty Romans against the formidable Carthaginians. As we transport ourselves to the sunny hills of Sicily, in the year 288 BCE, we find the city of Messina, a strategic outpost on the northeastern coast of the island. The city's stunning location, nestled between the Ionian Sea and the Pelorian Mountains, made it an attractive prize for the powers vying for control of the region. It was here that the Mamertines, a group of Italian mercenaries, had established themselves, their presence a spark that would soon ignite the flames of war. The Mamertines, with their rich history and cultural heritage, had initially been welcomed by the Sicilian city-states, who sought to utilize their military prowess to counterbalance the growing influence of Carthage. However, as time passed, the Mamertines began to assert their own claims to power, seeking to expand their control over the island. This led to tensions with the Carthaginians, who had long been the dominant force in the region. In 264 BCE, the Mamertines, seeking to secure their position in Sicily, appealed to both the Carthaginians and the Romans for support. The Carthaginians, under the command of Hanno, responded by sending a fleet to Messina, with the intention of driving out the Mamertines and asserting their control over the city. However, the Romans, sensing an opportunity to expand their influence in the region, decided to intervene on behalf of the Mamertines. The Roman consul, Appius Claudius Caudax, was dispatched to Sicily with a fleet of 120 ships and a contingent of soldiers. The Romans landed at Messina, where they were greeted by the Mamertines, who had grown disillusioned with Carthaginian rule. As the Roman forces established themselves in the city, the stage was set for a conflict that would engulf the entire Mediterranean world. The historical context of this period is crucial to understanding the origins of the First Punic War. The Sicilian city-states, with their rich history and cultural heritage, found themselves caught in the midst of a maelstrom, as the Carthaginians and Romans vied for dominance. The Phoenician city of Carthage, founded in 814 BCE, had long been a major power in the Mediterranean, its extensive trade networks and colonies stretching from Spain to Syria. The Romans, on the other hand, were a rising force, having recently unified the Italian peninsula under their control. Their intervention in Sicily marked a significant turning point in their expansion, as they began to assert themselves as a major player in the Mediterranean world. As we explore the origins of the First Punic War, it becomes clear that this conflict was not simply a clash between two great powers, but rather a complex web of alliances, rivalries, and competing interests. The city-states of Sicily, with their rich history and cultural heritage, played a pivotal role in the events leading up to the war. And so, dear listeners, we have set the stage for the events that will unfold in our next segment. The primary events of this conflict will reveal to us the intricacies of ancient warfare, the cunning of great leaders, and the resilience of nations in the face of adversity. Join me as we navigate the treacherous waters of the First Punic War and uncover the secrets of a bygone era, an era that continues to inspire and captivate us to this day. Welcome back to History with Herodotus, dear listeners, as we continue our journey through the annals of time, exploring the fascinating tale of the First Punic War. As the war raged on, the Romans and Carthaginians clashed in a series of battles that would test their mettle and determine the course of history. One of the most significant battles took place in 260 BCE, off the coast of Mylae, a city on the northeastern coast of Sicily. The Roman fleet, under the command of Consul Gnaeus Cornelius Scipio Asina, engaged the Carthaginian fleet, led by Admiral Hannibal Gisco. The Romans, employing their innovative corvus tactic, which involved using a boarding bridge to grapple and board enemy ships, emerged victorious, capturing or sinking several Carthaginian vessels. This triumph at Mylae marked a turning point in the war, as the Romans gained control of the seas and began to exert pressure on the Carthaginian strongholds in Sicily. The Carthaginians, however, refused to yield, and their commander, Hamilcar Barca, launched a series of daring raids against the Roman forces. Hamilcar, a brilliant and cunning leader, would later become famous for his campaigns in Spain and his role as the father of Hannibal, one of the greatest generals in history. As the war dragged on, both sides suffered heavy losses, but the Romans continued to gain ground. In 256 BCE, they launched a bold invasion of North Africa, seeking to capture the Carthaginian capital and bring an end to the conflict. The Roman army, led by consul Marcus Atilius Regulus, landed near the city of Clupea, where they defeated a Carthaginian force and began their march towards Carthage. The Carthaginians, desperate to defend their homeland, called upon the renowned Spartan general Xanthippus, who had been exiled from his native city. Xanthippus, with his expertise in land warfare, helped the Carthaginians to reorganize their army and launch a surprise counterattack against the Romans. The Battle of the Bagradas River, fought in 255 BCE, saw the Carthaginians inflict a crushing defeat on the Roman forces, killing or capturing many of their soldiers, including Consul Regulus. Despite this setback, the Romans persevered, and their determination ultimately paid off. In 241 BCE, they won a decisive victory at the Battle of the Aegates Islands, off the western coast of Sicily, where they destroyed the Carthaginian fleet and gained control of the seas. The Carthaginians, exhausted and depleted, were forced to sue for peace, ceding Sicily and Corsica to the Romans and paying a hefty indemnity. As we explore this pivotal period in history, we are struck by the courage, cunning, and resilience of the leaders and soldiers who fought in the First Punic War. Their struggles and sacrifices shaped the course of Western civilization, laying the foundations for the rise of Rome as a dominant world power. The war also had a profound impact on the development of naval warfare, as the Romans and Carthaginians introduced new tactics and technologies that would influence the course of maritime conflict for centuries to come. And so, dear listeners, we have reached the midpoint of our journey through the First Punic War. Join me as we continue to uncover the secrets of this fascinating era and discover how the ancient world was forever changed by the clash of these two great powers. Welcome back to History with Herodotus, dear listeners, as we conclude our journey through the annals of time, exploring the fascinating tale of the First Punic War. The Treaty of Lilybaeum, signed in 241 BCE, marked the official end of the First Punic War. The Carthaginians, exhausted and depleted, were forced to cede Sicily and Corsica to the Romans, as well as pay a hefty indemnity of 3,200 talents of silver over a period of 10 years. This treaty not only imposed significant financial burdens on Carthage, but also limited its naval power, prohibiting the construction of new warships. The war had a profound impact on both Rome and Carthage. For the Romans, the victory marked the beginning of their rise as a dominant world power, with their control over Sicily and Corsica providing them with strategic bases for further expansion. The war also spurred significant developments in Roman naval warfare, as they adopted and improved upon the tactics and technologies employed by the Carthaginians. For the Carthaginians, the defeat was a devastating blow, both economically and psychologically. The loss of Sicily and Corsica deprived them of vital resources and trade routes, while the indemnity imposed by the Romans severely strained their finances. The war also led to significant social and political upheaval within Carthage, as the ruling oligarchy faced challenges from rival factions and mercenary forces. One of the most notable consequences of the First Punic War was the rise of Hamilcar Barca, a brilliant and cunning Carthaginian general who would play a pivotal role in shaping the course of Western civilization. Hamilcar, determined to restore Carthage's honor and power, began to secretly build a new army and plan a campaign to conquer Spain, which would eventually become the foundation of the Barcid Empire. As the Romans and Carthaginians navigated the complex web of alliances and rivalries in the aftermath of the First Punic War, they set the stage for the outbreak of the Second Punic War. The rise of Hannibal, Hamilcar's son, would ultimately lead to one of the most famous conflicts in history, as the Carthaginians sought revenge against Rome, and the Romans fought to maintain their dominance over the Mediterranean world. In conclusion, dear listeners, the First Punic War marked a significant turning point in the ancient world, shaping the course of Western civilization and laying the foundations for the rise of Rome as a dominant world power. As we reflect on this epic conflict, we are reminded of the enduring legacy of the Romans and Carthaginians, whose struggles and sacrifices continue to inspire and captivate us to this day. As the great Roman historian Polybius once said, "The fate of empires depends on the actions of individuals." The First Punic War is a testament to this wisdom, as the courage, cunning, and resilience of leaders like Hamilcar Barca and Scipio Asina shaped the course of history. Join me next time on History with Herodotus, as we explore more fascinating tales from the ancient world. That's all for today's History with Herodotus. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, remember that to understand the present, we must first understand the past.